Plus, authorities in Ethiopia have arrested members of a large human trafficking network accused of exploiting around 3,000 people, marking one of the country's biggest crackdown on organized trafficking in recent years. And a new chapter in grassroots football development has begun in Limbe as the second edition of the Project One Shoes Youth Football Tournament kicked off in style. These and more will be yours in a few minutes to come. Good evening and welcome to News Hour on Royal TV. I am Sharon Tita for presentation. In the months ahead, some farmers in Fako Division Southwest region of Cameroon will be receiving vital support under the project to support food security in the country. The project is an initiative designed to boost agricultural productivity and strengthen food security across the country. Details in the following reports with Frida Lena Voma.
Launched in its pilot phase last year, the project that supports food security in rural areas of Cameroon Sekau is now moving forward with renewed energy. Selected farmers will be equipped with modern farming tools and equipment, giving them the means to increase yields and improve livelihoods. The project is being closely monitored by the head of the Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Center of the Southwest region, who explains the vision behind Sekau and what beneficiaries can expect.
The SEDA project is a project that has come to support food security in rural areas of Cameroon. It came in response to the difficulties that people faced. Farmers were facing, like recurrent floods, like I said in my speech, population growth, and natural disasters. So in response to this, SECA was introduced to solve this problem. So that's why we are here. We were here last year, the 25th, to introduce the program. Now we are here to tell them the concrete steps to follow to benefit for the program.
During a workshop held to shed more light on the initiative, stakeholders emphasized that the pilot phase is crucial. It will determine whether Sekau can be extended to other divisions within the Southwest. Speaking at the event, the Regional Chief of Service for Agricultural Development, Minade Southwest, Chufo Christopher, noted that the project is not just about providing equipment, it is about laying the foundation for sustainable food security. It should be noted that the project that supports food security in rural areas of Cameroon will go a long way to solve the rising food crisis.
First of all, know if what they are doing is worthwhile. That's why we gave them this form to fill. What is expected of them is they fill the form. We are going to visit them, their various enterprises, to know whether what they are doing has market potentials. And then from there, we'll diagnose their difficulties, identify their problems, and then try to solve them. Take back this equipment. If your problem is lack of equipment, you cannot produce because you don't have equipment. We are going to provide it for you. If your problem is training, we are going to train you on all the non-financial services we mentioned, like business, financial education, and Kaizen, and what have you. We train them on packaging, we train them on other things for them to come out to have market potential.
For farmers in Fako, Sekau represents more than just support. It is a chance to transform their fields, their harvests, and their communities. As the project unfolds, all eyes will be on its impact and whether it can serve as a model for strengthening food security nationwide.
Tension is mounting in Tiko subdivision as a land dispute between Bwenga farmers and the chief of Bongajo escalates. Authorities are now stepping in with the divisional officer calling for calm while seeking intervention from the governor of the Southwest region, Bernard Okala Bilai. Details in the following reports with Gunyi Sonita.
A group of aggrieved farmers from Bwenga village in Motengene stormed the Chico Divisional Office earlier this week, protesting what they describe as the unlawful destruction of their crops and farmlands. The farmers accuse the chief of Bonganjo Litikembua of using heavy machinery, including a bulldozer, to clear their farms without prior notice.
They say the whole set area na Benga, Nibi Bonganjo. Mazeri go there, na say that he boys away na Banga people them. They did drive farmers them, they did terrorize them, beat them for farm. You do one can, they don't throw inside, one can, they don't be house for your place. So that they suffer that would be face up.
Somebody from nowhere, he can say the chief. Government don't do one thing, he not the chief. He say village na Bonganjo. You go here, don't take this, don't be another Bonganjo. That one never been finished, he don't carry the enter the people their cocoa farm,
In response, the divisional officer of TICO, Mr. Samuel Ukuri, visited the disputed site on Wednesday, April 8, accompanied by local authorities, traditional leaders, and representatives of the affected farmers. Following the field visit, the DO urged the farmers to remain calm, assuring them that the matter has been escalated to the governor of the Southwest region for a peaceful resolution.
I want to assure the population that say no one's payment of my land on us. So as you don't talk, say don't call you for Boya. Who give you that confidence of you? If you go present what you don't see of the field today. What you have got advice to and say, you must not say minister, the first of this April, where minister the most of document, we talk about occupation of land. Say, if you find say you won't get that document, because that shows the first occupation, because you get land, first occupy your land, because you won't make your land certificate. No. So that document is very, very important. Any man make inside land, get that document with the show, now you get the place, so now village give you that land, and the village recognize you did for you. As you don't talk, say don't call you for Boya. Who give you that confidence of you? If you go present what you don't see of the field today. Be patient, exercise any violence. Be patient, need your good can because we go there here fight for.
Speaking on behalf of the farmers, Mbella John Eliver described the destruction as illegal, citing a long-standing land dispute dating back to 2015. According to him, an administrative injunction had prohibited any activity on the land pending resolutions.
Signs of minimism. You minimize the state authority. The chieftaincy is an institution. Oh, is the chief. Call him the chief. That's the representative of the head of state. Allows people who are not chiefs to come in chieftaincy regalia, and they are using those very regalia and those crowns to sell people's land.
Opposing voices from the other traditional authorities strongly contest this claim. Chiefs from Bukwai and villages maintain that Bonganjo is historically recognized and officially gazetted as one of the 5 villages within the Mutengene court area. That existing records confirm the long-standing existence of Bonganjo, warning against dismissing documented history. Some have called on the farmers to seek dialogue with the chief of Bonganjo to resolve the matter amicably. As tension persists, all eyes are now on the Southwest Governor Bernardo Calabilai, whose intervention is expected to guide a peaceful and lasting solution to the crisis.
12 contestants have gathered at the Moliko Omi Sports Stadium to partake in the Pekfest Food Festival. The 2026 edition has seen food lovers and vendors dropping into the food jamboree not just to savor the rich flavors, but to get a feel of the food competition firsthand. Details in the following report with Honoring Cheng.
This is the Peck Food Festival, and it's happening here in Moliko. At the beginning of this particular food festival, it was mind-blowing because restaurants, business owners, they came with their stands, and you could see people shouting and people calling, buy this, 1,000, 2,000. It feels like you're more of in a marketplace.
Food vendors and food lovers have converged on Boya to showcase their prowess, make increased sales, and meet new people.
The Peck Fest Food Festival 2026 is an avenue for new opportunities, says the brain behind. They too saw an influx of people from left and right.
Yeah, for the winners, they have awards, and also they have certificates we give to them, and we have cash prizes that we are going to give to them.
The food competition proper gathered 12 contestants who had to cook an exquisite meal from the center region, that with sugar, and from the littoral without sugar.
I was shocked and surprised that I was not that way. I boast of myself, but I did it.
It was really tense. I almost cried. I shouldn't lie, I almost cried.
To many, it was a first of a kind experience, but they are positive of the outcome.
I've learned that in the kitchen you have to be multitasking, especially when you come for competitions, and that I lacked.
I've learned that in the kitchen, not only women are supposed to be there, I also learned that you need to manage your kitchen with hygiene.
Going by the jury, getting to score the best or streamline the number wasn't as easy as it seemed.
I know exactly what I was looking for, and I know what I got. Out of the 12, a few people really made me proud. Yeah.
Most of the contestants say the remarks were heartwarming and have reiterated the fact that they will ameliorate themselves.
I was really in the haste to serve my food, so I did not really keep it clean that way, and they told me that it wasn't that perfect. So next time, I've learned my next dish I'm going to do it, I'll do perfect.
This is my first time of participating in any competition of this magnitude. Yes.
The cooking competition will continue today to the next stage.
The period of Easter means different things to a good number of people from diverse backgrounds. Away from being a time of reflection, it's a time to make merry, but above all, reflect on the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Honoring Cheng puts us through in this report.
Have you been moving? Or you are standing still? Because please, if you are standing still, repent of the fact that you have been telling yourself to sleep well at night.
The period of Easter is not just a moment to make merry, but a time to reflect on ourselves, our relationship with God, and above all, His mercies, which the Bible says endure forever and ever.
Because these signs must follow them that believe. If you know you have believed these signs, I want you to wait to Jesus. These signs will follow you if you believe.
But Easter means different things to diverse people, and to Christians of Miracle Ministries International, Easter will always be the perfect time to think of the resurrection of Jesus the Christ and Savior.
In fact, the message today was very enriching. The take-home message that I got today was that once you believe, any other thing follows. Those are the things that, as a Christian, I have not actually had that understanding. All I need to do is just to believe God, and any other thing will follow.
My plan for today is that in the Bible we say go out and preach the good news, and today the plans I have is to go out and tell the people the good news about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, so that they should understand that everything boils down to our Lord Jesus. He resurrected for us and we are alive today thanks for Him.
As we go about our daily activities during this holiday period, let's be in the spirit of awakening, because the resurrection is alive today than ever.
Me in particular, in fact, He resurrected for me, and I'm very happy to witness that. He was crucified and He was bruised for my sake, and today I am liberated, I am free, just because He resurrected again.
For dying on the cross for my sin is already a very big thing, because I don't even deserve it as a sinner, but He came to resurrect for my sake. So that is why I take this particular day to be special, and because of that I have to join other Christians to celebrate.
Easter holiday still remains an instance to deeply reflect and above all make merry, for we only live this experience once a year.
Honoring Cheng there ends in that report, in an era where authorities have called for the prioritization of vocational training as many young persons in Boya struggle with unemployment. One automobile maestro is turning his garage into a classroom. On tonight's newscast, we take you under the hood to meet a car maintenance expert who isn't just fixing engineers, but fixing the futures of young minds. Details in the following report with Natalie Juma.
In Moliko, the hub of young persons in Boya, chief town of the southwest region, the sound of ratchets and reviving engines mixes with lessons on diagnostics and discipline. Meet Visham Kinsley-To, a 39-year-old master mechanic who runs a garage with over 27 years experience. But since 2021, his garage has doubled as an informal training ground for over 23 youths.
I'm training young youths because I believe that one day they will be the builders of tomorrow. And I believe that training them like this, one, they will not be prostitutes. Two, they will not be thieves. Because if you allow them, the war is bad, they will go into scamming, go into drugs. And I've seen this thing, I said, God, let me train these children. Even if the government is not there, I don't think I'm a traditionalist. These children will learn work.
Kingsley teaches practical skills, engine repair, electrical system, computerized diagnostics for modern cars like Mercedes, Actros, Toyota, and even customer service. Training is free, but discipline is mandatory, as trainees must arrive by 7:30 a.m. No alcohol, no phones allowed during work hours, except for research purpose.
Up to this genius, the junior one that I see in primary, I will give you a chance because you are seeing when we are doing diagnosis. I will say, you go and look for where this socket is entry because it's under the car. If the child can do it, you have already started learning.
People say mechanics is for the boys only, but the case as at now is different, as girls now engage in this field, for it is often said that it is the brain and not the gender that fixes the car. Such initiatives like Visham's comes with challenges, as he funds everything himself, from tools to overalls and sometimes lunch for these young trainees.
I've been working here for 2 weeks now, and we have learned a lot. We have learned how to replace spoiled spark plugs, shocks, and fuel pumps.
We have learned so many things: how to change the fuel pump, how to loosen the plug, and how to do so many things around here. We have come here, really make us to know so many things so far.
I feel good. I'm encouraging everybody, girls, they should come and do it because it will help you in the future. I feel very, very fine because the guys, they help me to show me things that this one is like that. They take that time to show me, like, more than the boys, more than even their friends.
It is proven that empowerment doesn't always need a classroom or a big budget. Sometimes it starts with a toolbox, patience, and the will to pull the next generation out of the streets and in the quarters. Visham's initiative is a powerful reminder that skill is a survivor, as well as his reiterate on the clarion call by government officials for young persons to engage on vocational training and skill acquisition activities.
The first March ordinary session of Parliament has wrapped up, marking the end of the 10th legislative session, which ran from March 10 to April 8. This session saw significant amendments to several bills, including constitutional reforms and electoral codes. The 6th Congress held at the Pobia Glass House in Yaoundé. Notable challenges, says Dex editor Mwambo Williams on his analysis.
The Parliament of Cameroon has concluded its first ordinary session of the 10th legislature, marking the end of the 6th Congress. The session, which began on March 10, 2026, was a significant milestone for the country's legislative body. During the session, lawmakers examined and adopted several key bills, including a constitutional review that introduces the post of vice president, who is appointed and dismissed at the will of the President of the Republic. The amendment grants President Paul Biya the power to appoint a vice president who will assume office in case of vacancy due to death, resignation, or incapacitation of the president. The mandates of municipal councillors and members of the National Assembly were extended to December 2026. The both mandates, which were set to end on March 31st, now extended to December 20th, 2026, and the appointment of vice presidents are expected to be promulgated to law by the head of state within 15 days. The session was not without challenges. The late submission of bills and the holding of seats vacant due to deaths of members without replacement were notable issues. Since the start of the 10th legislature in 2020, about 21 lawmakers have passed away, including the oldest member, Laurentine Kwa Fege, at the National Assembly. What of significance during the recent session was the elections of new leaders at the helm of the two houses of parliament. Jojo Datuo, who replaces Kavaye Yege Jibril at the National Assembly, and Abubakari Abdullahi, the Lamido of Rebuba, who succeeded Marcel Nyat Njifenji of the Senate. As Cameroon prepares for upcoming twin elections, the parliamentarians are expected to focus on ensuring a smooth transition and addressing pressing national issues. So then, as the lawmakers go to their various constituencies, they are expected to give feedback to those they represent.
And now, onto our foreign page, authorities in Ethiopia have arrested members of a large human trafficking network accused of exploiting around 3,000 people, marking one of the country's biggest crackdowns on organized trafficking in recent years. Plus, the president of Madagascar has declared a state of emergency amid growing concerns over fuel shortages, as authorities move to stabilize supply and prevent disruptions to essential services. Details in the following report with Nanga Sonia.
Ethiopian police say they have arrested a dangerous international human trafficker and 9 accomplices accused of smuggling over 3,000 people to Libya, where they were held hostage and in some cases tortured, raped, or killed. The human trafficking network has been under investigation since 2018, recruiting young people from Ethiopia, Sudan, Eritrea, Djibouti, Kenya, and Somalia who hope to migrate to Europe through Libya. The ring operated 5 warehouses in Libya, holding victims hostage while forcing their families to pay huge ransoms. Those who could not pay were given only migrant meal a day, beaten, whipped with rubber or electric cables, and had their hands and feet chained. Some victims were burned with plastic water bottles, women were raped, and many died during the torture. Police published mugshots of the 7 men and 3 women arrested in connection with the criminal network. The Ethiopian Federal Police, with support from Project Rock, an EU-funded Interpol initiative, interviewed over 100 victims and their families during the investigation. They found that the network moved around $20,000 million through its operations. Police say the probe had also uncovered more than 70 major human traffickers in Ethiopia and abroad. Torrential rains have killed around 40 people in Angola, with several others still missing. The downpours triggered flash floods over the weekend, submerging streets and damaging homes in the capital Luanda and the coastal city of Benguela. Officials say 13 people died in Luanda province, where 5 others remain unaccounted for. In Benguela province, 26 people were killed and 4 are still missing. Local reports also say at least 6 people died in the provinces of Kwanza Sul and Malanje. More than 600 homes have been destroyed in Luanda and Benguela, while over 9,500 properties were flooded. Authorities say more than 51,000 people have been affected by this flooding. Emergency teams are working to drain water from homes and streets, while also distributing food and clean drinking water. Heavy rains are common in southern Africa during the rainy season, but scientists warn that human-driven climate change is making such extreme weather events more frequent and intense. Madagascar has declared state of emergency over concerns about energy supplies to the Indian Ocean nation. President Radrenarina has signed a decree authorizing the government to take emergency measures to secure fuel supplies, including requisitioning stocks. If necessary, authorities can also suspend the automatic price adjustment mechanism currently in place. It sets the cost of petrol based on its purchase price on the international market. Most of the island's electricity is generated from oil, and it depends on fuel imported from Oman, just south of the Strait of Hormuz, currently closed by Iran. While Madagascar hasn't yet seen any disruptions in supply, the government warned that the ongoing war in the Middle East could lead to disruptions in daily life, the economy, and the functioning of public services. Power and fuel shortages in Madagascar last year led to nationwide protests that resulted in an overthrow of the government.
Nanga Sonia there ends in that report. And now onto our sports page. A new chapter in grassroots football development has begun in Limbe as the second edition of the project One Shoes Youth Football Tournament kick off in style, showcasing emerging talents and setting in exciting tune for the days ahead. Details in the following report with Claudia Voma.
Actions officially got underway yesterday at the historic Limbe Centenary Stadium, marking the start of a 4-day football spectacle that will also be hosted at the Middle Farms and Sonara Stadia respectively. Building on the success of the maiden edition, which featured under 11, under 13 and under 15 categories, this year's tournament has been restructured into under 12, 14 and 16 divisions, an adjustment aimed at increasing competitiveness and player development. The opening day delivered immediate excitement, particularly in the under 12 category, where two sides registered convincing victories to take early control of the campaign and send a strong message to their rivals. Their performances highlighted both attacking qualities and tactical organizations, setting a high standard for the rest of the competition. Scheduled to run from April 8 to April 11, the tournament continues to serve as a vital platform for nurturing young footballers, offering them the exposure and valuable match experience. With multiple venues engaged and fixtures coming thick and fast, the intensity is expected to rise as the race for qualification progresses. As the competition unfolds, consistency and discipline will be crucial. But if the opening day is anything to go by, fans can expect thrilling encounters and a celebration of youthful football excellence throughout the tournament.
In the months ahead, some farmers in Fakol Division, Southwest region of Cameroon, will be receiving vital support under the project to support food security in the country. Plus, authorities in Ethiopia have arrested members of a large human trafficking network accused of exploiting around 3,000 people, marking one of the country's biggest crackdowns on organized trafficking in recent years. And a new chapter in grassroots football development has begun in Limbe as the second edition of the project One Shoes Youth Football Tournament kick off in style. Dear viewers of Royal TV, it is on this note that we wrap up our news for today. The news was produced by Natalie Juma, technically supervised by David Tita, and for presentation I am Sharon Tita. Goodbye.